Right, so for the single leg mid-foot bridge rotations with an internal rotation bias, what you're going to do is set up lying on the floor, and then you want to have your foot at a distance away from you where you can just about lift your heel up off the floor. So for me, it's going to be about there. Okay, then I'm going to bring my other leg just into my chest and just let it relax here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my toes facing inwards. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but rather than just pointing them straight forwards, I'm going to rotate my foot facing inwards. This is going to put our tibia into internal rotation, which is going to turn on our inside hamstrings a little bit more. Okay, we're trying to bias those inside hamstrings in this variation. Okay, so I get my foot at a distance away where I can just about lift my foot off the floor. I then rotate my foot in. I have this leg pulled in towards my chest. What I'm then going to do is I'm not going to think about lifting my hips up. I'm going to start driving my foot down into the floor, my whole foot. And you should see that kind of instantly turns on my glute, my hamstrings and my calf. Okay? Then I'm going to push until I'm pushing hard enough that my hips just float an inch off the floor. Now, to add the rotations in, both my hip bones are currently pointed straight at the ceiling. So what I'm going to do is, once I've driven my foot through the floor and my hips are just floating an inch off the floor, I'm now going to point my hip bones away from the camera, which is going to rotate my pelvis in. And now I'm going to point my hip bones towards the camera, which is going to rotate my pelvis out. Okay, and then I'm going to come back down from that position. That's one rep. Then I'm going to drive my foot to the floor, lift, rotate my pelvis facing in, rotate my pelvis facing out, back to neutral, and then back down. So all we're doing in this exercise is you're holding an isometric contraction around the hamstrings, particularly the inside hamstrings, the calf and the glute, and then we're adding in a rotational force using our pelvis down through the knee.